Games have evolved so much over the past few years, bringing to life emotions and stories that we can relate to and gain an emotional connection with that just never seemed plausible back in the day. Greetings, Pat Curley here from the Republic of Players, and today we are going to be having a look at a game that dives deep into one's psyche and explores the ideas of depression and loneliness. And that game is Sea of Solitude. The story of Sea of Solitude follows a young woman by the name of Kay, who awakens in a dreamlike world where one transforms into a monster if they are lonely. The concept is one that you don't see often delved into for games, and it covers it from a handful of different aspects that can be quite powerful. From the bullying Kay's younger brother endured, which left me feeling quite uncomfortable and unnerved. The voice acting also enhanced my experience, at first feeling off and sticking out like a sore thumb. The unnaturalness of it added to the dreamlike world you traverse as Kay, but it can still be a bit off-putting at some points. The reaction the story invoked within me is a showcase of just how powerful the story can be. I would love to expand upon the story, but this is a game one simply needs to experience without being told the basic outline. Its compelling message of loneliness is invigorating to behold and bear witness. I believe if at one point you have felt depressed or so alone, then this story can resonate with you profoundly as it did with myself. The game doesn't sugarcoat the issues it brings up, and it even doesn't end with everything being rosy. However, one thing against this story is that it becomes predictable. But even with that, it pulls off its emotional high notes exceedingly well at certain moments. The gameplay is solid, though nothing spectacular. You have multiple ways of movement, from your standard walking, running and swimming, to the boat, which makes traversing the flooded areas you find yourself in much quicker. Though the controls for the boat can be a bit awkward from time to time. How the hell did this happen? The game progressed at a nice pace, building up the difficulty of the platforming. However, by the time it reaches the tower in this dreamlike reality, the platforming plateaus but begins to go downhill from there, making the game feel a great deal simpler than before. It does pick back up near the end, though with how short the game is in length, the section where the gameplay drops is noticeable. You have a flare that you can fire off in order to see what direction you should be heading along, as well as solving certain puzzle-like situations. You have to uncover corruption and suck it up with your brightly coloured backpack, which is oddly satisfying. There's just something about a big black clouds of negativity getting sucked up like a hoover that is just so mesmerising to watch. There are little side objects, glass bottles with messages in them from other people who previously entered the dreamlike world, or it could be messages from Kay when she was in that reality before, as it is mentioned it wasn't her first time there. It's a neat collectible that adds a tiny bit more to the world. Then you have the seagulls which you shoo away. That's right, you can be an utter dickhead to these birds. But I know as they circle above you that they are plotting revenge, all 32 waiting for the perfect moment to assault you with a barrage of bird poo. Or I could just be paranoid. The graphics this game have are utterly phenomenal. It feels like a stylized art style you would see from animated features the like of Cartoon Salon, or the more imaginative art styles you would see from the eastern hemisphere of the world. The feathery-like appearance of all monsters is visually stunning, and beautiful to lay your eyes on. The fantastic areas which you explore, from the flooded city to the snowy landscape, and the impeccable foreboding school, bring an unmistakable atmosphere that will drag you in. The change between dark and depressing to the more unbelievably vibrant and colourful landscapes that keep the game from ever going stale location-wise, as while you might be in the same area, it's amazing how quick the tone can be changed with dark and bright weather. The game really does pop with the visuals, and even small things are incredible and add character. Kay, for example, jumps when lightning or thunder strikes, and little things like this brings the world to life. Also have to mention the foamy white waves created by the boat. At least I think they're waves, but whatever they are, it's gorgeous watching it form. The music is soothing on the ears, delivering a somber tone throughout most of its pieces, with the odd one or two becoming more intense depending on the situation. It was quite relaxing to wander about with the soft music, and I found myself often exploring the game's fascinating world along with it, than actually continuing the story. The audio itself has some issues though. There are points where characters are speaking and the words are completely lost, and the only way I knew what they were saying was thanks to the subtitles. Overall, Sea of Solitude is great. It is a work of art visually speaking and has an amazing soundtrack to accompany it. The story has its powerful emotional moments that will keep you engaged, and I found myself relating to the emotional states that are explored and the ideas of loneliness and depression it presented so earnestly. The gameplay does take a back seat, but at certain moments it shines beautifully in platforming, and I wish they pushed a bit more in the gameplay direction for this game, as they showed they can pull it off. The game is sweet and short. It really all depends on what you are looking for in this game if you truly want to buy it. If you love artistically creative games or wish to experience the ideas of loneliness this game offers up, then jump on Sea of Solitude. Its gameplay mechanics are not what will hook you, but they serve their purpose and even stand strong in certain bits of the game. I would recommend buying Sea of Solitude. Now, I actually want to take a moment more to talk about mental health and how this game can truly suck you into its narrative, especially if you can relate to it, which I believe everyone can. We all have moments in life where we feel we are in a dark place we can't escape from. And one character in this game resembled a part of my mindset when I was in my dark place, yet seeing it from a different perspective. It hit hard. Sea of Solitude brings forth the idea we exist with our demons. They'll always be there with us. But there is one line in this game I believe sums it up beautifully. It's not about loss. It's about change. We carry around loss constantly. It drags us down. Change is hard and there's no guarantee it will work. So we try again and again, so we can try and make it work. New challenges will arise. Sometimes they're difficult and harsh on you. Others will bring you joy. Life is hard, but by God, life is worth it. Sorry for how heavy that got there, but it does show how games can affect us on levels we don't expect. Now comes the part of the video where I ask you to subscribe, like the video, and all that jazz. We have reviews, the podcast, first looks and impressions of games, and all that stuff. We are on all forms of social media for you to keep up to date with, and be sure to join our Facebook community where we talk all things gaming, which you will find links to in the thingamajig below. Until next time, have a good one.